Quilters, get ready. We're celebrating National Quilting Month with an incredible live giveaway celebration.
Make sure you can hear us okay.
10 a.m.
They can't because I've got this 3-minute intro video that's going to eat up our time. Let's see if I can turn it off.
Amazing winners are going to have the opportunity to win a Janome Travel May 50 machine with one of our Versa Sew Steady tables. They're going to have the opportunity to win a Wish Sew Steady table package with a light stick to turn that into a light box because you can. One of our amazing travel bags to carry everything in, plus a whole lot more. One of our new spring Elevate quilting boxes that we're going to be highlighting and announcing at the same time. An Equitool Go cutting.
It won't let me remove it right now.
Amazing new pinwheel dies by Westerly Design. A quilter's custom clover channel
And
and so
that's
many
fine.
more amazing quilting goodies that you're absolutely going to love.
And that's not all. We'll be giving away live prizes during the event, and some require you to be present to win, so don't miss it. Plus, be the first to see our brand new Spring Elevate Quilt Box that is packed with inspiration, including
This box is packed with all kinds of amazing tools, projects, and more. We've got 5 brand new templates and tools that you're going to be unveiling with this. We've got 5 new projects that are inside the box.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's so great. So we have the big
One is bigger, one is smaller. One is for like a smaller tabletop.
beginning fabric.
It's 11 by 15 in size. The other is 12 by 20.
Hardware in the panel to
So both of them are gliders. They both have the grid on them. But the 12 by 20 tends to be more popular because most people have a tabletop surface that's at least that you would be able to have wrap around. Like this extension table, we would go 12 by 20 on this.
paper piece
Yeah.
project by Pam.
That one is 35, and then I believe it's on sale 20% off.
Pattern by Angie Atwood.
Yeah.
And then a beautiful gumdrop quilt that you're going to absolutely love making. And Mindy's going to be doing that.
We do inside of our Get Started kit. This is our Get Started kit that comes with the 6.5-inch crosshair ruler. Yeah. And then this one as well. This is our circle crosshair ruler. So it works with both options.
That's not
Yeah.
all that's in the box though, because we've got
Yeah, that's the kit that we recommend. Do you have a high shank machine? Hello, this is the kit you would want then.
This spring box
And we've got,
spark your
yeah.
creativity and get you excited to get in the sewing room.
Perfect.
So mark your calendar.
All right, we're almost live, Donelle. And then you'll leave. No.
Celebrate quilting with the spring box.
Kind of like.
Yeah.
It took us a minute.
Thanks everyone.
All right. Oh. Hi, everyone. It's Stacy and Donelle. Thank you guys for the birthday wishes.
Yes, happy birthday.
Just 39, forever 39, maybe. Well, we are super excited to have you here today. Donnell's going to be doing some demoing for you for just a bit, and then I'll switch over and do some demoing. But we are live here with the Sewing Studio at the Lakeland OSQE show. So this is my first time at this show, Donelle, but I think you've been here a few times. Many times. Look at this stunning design that Donelle is creating right now. Isn't that amazing? So this is all with the spiral ruler, guys. I think that this is one of my absolute favorite ruler designs. It's just got so many different options with it. But you can do so much with that spiral ruler, and guess where that is? That's in the starter set. That one template only comes in the Sew Steady Starter Sampler set. She's also using the stitch regulator, and that's the new Brother stitch regulator. Look at those gorgeous stitches. Isn't that amazing? So what she's done is she's set this machine to go ahead and just follow her stitching speed. So she's actually got it on the highest speed, but it's not going to go unless she goes. So it's going to give you that regulated stitches because it's all plugged in and programmed into the machine. There it is. Look at that. Isn't that just a stunning design? So let me show you a little bit about some of the stuff we've got going on here. But I want to take advantage of Donelle while she's here because she's actually got to go do a stage demo here in a second. So, and then I'll do some more demoing and I'll show off some of those rulers that are coming in that set. There we go. So, oh, it's absolutely stunning.
It's interesting how many different things you can do with a ruler just by going different distances. So all of the stuff that I've done right here is just different distances.
Oh, sure.
So of
Now, how
course,
did you do that consistently?
just by measuring, well, obviously with my spacing gauge, but going off of center. And I know they probably can't see that, but I actually have a line that was chalked down the center. So you can see I went so far here, so far here.
Yeah,
And I'm getting
absolutely.
ready to go again,
Okay.
just a little bit farther.
So are you using the markings or are you kind of more eyeballing it?
A
Oh,
little bit of both.
you're just landing center every
Yeah,
time.
yeah, a little bit of
Okay.
both. And with the stitch regulator, you're going to do a little bit more to the side so that you can go all the way at the same time and not have to stop and reposition.
Yeah,
So you can see we got three different distances there.
I love it.
And, you know, a lot of people think, oh, it's a log cabin. Why would you use that? Just creativity,
Yeah,
just being creative.
absolutely.
So
Well,
the thing I was doing here was doing all of it without stopping and starting. So
Yeah.
I only had one start. So, hey, you can play while I go do a demo.
okay, Donelle's going to go do some stage time here at the show. Donelle and Kate are teaching all weekend here in Lakeland, Florida. So if you can come by and see us, we are got classes and live demos happening all weekend long. We even have some giveaways. So I'm going to go ahead and just attach my phone here. Hopefully you can see this okay and you can hear me okay still. I think so. And so I'm going to go ahead and just keep demoing for everyone here. Let's get this camera set up so you can see it. There we go. Okay. There it is. We've got a good little setup going here. So let's see if I can bend this a little bit more. We're just using a separate camera right here to be able to use, and I have my laptop set up. And then we're just kind of playing with different designs using this amazing template set. This is part of our starter set. This is called our spiral template. And so you can see that you can do all kinds of different designs with that. Donelle's gone ahead and kind of started doing some of that. So I'm just going to fill in on some of her lines. So you can go ahead and use the previous stitch lines to be able to create new designs with that. So I'm going to go ahead and just stitch away. And then this is creating a 1/4 inch gap, and that's based on where I stopped and started. And so then I would go ahead and just place this right here. And then I'm going to do the same thing where I'm just putting this on the previous stitch line. And so that's just giving a 1/4 inch. Yep, a 1/4 inch. And so and so this isn't going to move unless I move because I am the stitch regulator because I'm using the new stitch regulation option that they have built into just these select machines. So I've gone ahead and created that design. And then I'm going to come down and do this one more time right in the front. And so every time you can just kind of come back and then you can go center and just keep creating kind of echoing designs with this. And so I'm going to bring this around. Just follow that line. And again, we offer our ruler templates in 3 different sizes. You can get them in what we call low shank, high shank, or long arm thickness. And that's all based on your machine. So depending on what kind of machine you have, you can go ahead and make that work for you. When you start doing quilting with rulers, the first thing that you want to consider is you want to start with a flat sewing surface. A flat sewing surface is really necessary because you see I've got my template sitting on a flat sewing surface. And then other essential tools We have things like gliders. We love our gliders because the gliders help us in kind of having the fabric move really freely. This is actually part of our So Steady suspension system. And so this is one of those solutions that we created because we had, for years, we had people saying, yeah, that's all fine and dandy, but can you create, can you do a bigger than a block? And so our So Steady suspension system allows you to do bigger designs than just a block because you're able to go ahead and have this hold up your bigger projects for you and kind of act as kind of taking that drag away. So now I'm just going to kind of come down again using that previous stitch line. And there we go. We're just going to come down to center. And so this design, I feel like I've kind of expired. So I'm going to go ahead and start on another practice panel. And I'll actually use the practice panel that we developed for use with our brand new kit that we rolled out to use with the stitch regulator. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. And we're going to use that. Now, this kit does come with our spacing gauge. It comes with this really fun template. This is our Spin and Echo template. This creates really awesome flower designs. And then it also comes with the what we call our wave line and circle ruler. And this one has all kinds, and it's just like it sounds. It's got wave lines and circles built into it. So let's go ahead and pull this practice panel out. And we're going to do a little bit of practice quilting on this. So I'm going to start with the Spin and Echo because it is just such a fun and kind of fulfilling template to create designs with because it's got so many lines on it. You can see that right there. And so let's go ahead and give that a shot. Oh, you guys are all so sweet. It's my birthday today, and I'm doing my live. So I've got everybody, I've got them all saying happy birthday to me on here. All right. And so now we're going to go ahead and put our ruler down. And so we're going to find our pen option. Sorry, we're shaking here, everyone. But we've got a pen that comes with these rulers, and it allows you to go ahead and kind of use these templates that allow you to create these awesome spinning designs really easily. So I'm going to drop that onto my pen. And then this particular ruler, we're actually going to start. So the pen is in the middle of the block there. So I'm going to turn you just slightly so you can see this ruler in action. But we're going to start. So we're going to use the markings that are on this panel. Not every panel, design is going to have markings. So if it didn't have markings, then I would use my crosshair ruler to go ahead and mark this for me. But since this panel has them, I'm just going to use the markings that are built into this block. So I'm going to start with this particular template. This is our Spin and Echo number 10. And I'm going to start in the middle of this first design. And then I'm going to stitch down to the center of my where my pinwheel connects here. And then I'm going to stitch to the next line where the next pinwheel. So there's 3 different points that I'm going to be stitching to. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my foot pedal down, and we're going to stitch to there, and then we're going to come up and we're going to stop on that next line, and then we're just going to spin the template, and then we're going to stitch to the next point. So we're going to stitch down and then come up. And notice how my stitches are regulated, and they're regulated because they're stitching at the speed that I'm moving. It will not actually start moving. The sewing machine needle will not start moving until I move the fabric. So if I'm not moving the fabric, then it's not stitching, which is pretty amazing. And, there are amazing stitch regulator options in the market. Baby Lock and Brother just came out with this solution for stitch regulation with free motion. And then So Steady just developed an option to be able to use your rulers with it. And so that's what we're showing off here. So come up, come down, stitch to that point. How many of you have used the Spin and Echo rulers? We have had Spin and Echo rulers for a really long time, but they're not a ruler that we've done a lot with. And so I have kind of really enjoyed being able to play with these recently. And I know Melissa's also started playing with them a little bit more. So you just might see a Spin and Echo ruler soon in one of our options. So now I just created that a lovely little flower design, guys. So now I can go ahead and I can come out just a little bit and I'm just going to follow the line. I'm just going to follow up the pinwheel line. And now I'm going to start my next size. And so I'm now on the 6. So now on the 6, I'm going to go ahead and come down a little bit. Actually, I started on the 6. I need to go to the 7. Okay. So now I've got everything aligned. I'm on the 7. So now I'm going to come down, come to the middle, stitch up to the next pinwheel line where everything connects, stop there, and then I'm going to turn the template. And then I'm going to do it again. So I'm aligning up the center with that middle pinwheel point, coming down, coming up, and stopping right there. And then I just keep doing it. So we're just going to keep moving it, making it happen. Come down, come up, and notice that all of my stitches are staying on the regulated because it's not stitching until I stitch. It's not adding the thread. And so this isn't ever a problem if you're using your feed dogs because then you're setting your stitch length. But anytime you do free motion, you are the stitch regulator unless you've got something built into your machine like this that allows you to stitch regulate. So like I said, if you're, this is the baby lock option. Brother also has a solution that's really similar to this that we developed this kit for. There's also options and Bernina has the stitch regulator option that we developed a table that you can go ahead and get. Janome has a stitch regulator option that's amazing that's built into the foot. So I just did my 7-inch. So now let's go ahead. I'm going to stitch back up because I have to. So I'm going to stitch back up and then I'm going to go ahead and do my next size. So in order to get to my next size, I can either break thread, but typically when you're quilting, you don't want to break thread. You just want to go ahead and keep stitching so you can minimize your thread breaks. So if I didn't want to break thread, then I'm just going to add a little bit of a stitch line. And then I'm going to go ahead and move it to the 8. And so now I'm going to stitch up a little bit further. And the way I know that I need to stitch up is because I couldn't turn this to center. So I knew it just needed one more stitch to be able to turn it to, so I could line this center line up with my pinwheel line there. And so I'm going to go ahead and stitch down right to here, stitch back up. All right. And we'll stop right there. And then I'm just going to pivot the ruler. So now we'll go ahead and do our 8 point or 8-inch to size. So what I love about the Spin and Echo rulers is that it does allow you to do multiple sizes. So this goes to anywhere from a 5-inch all the way up to a 12-inch design. So that means you can fill a lot of different block sizes with one ruler, which not all of our templates allow that. A lot of our templates are kind of, one size only. You can create really cool designs with it, like this one. You could create really cool designs like we did earlier with Donelle's design there with the spiral template, but they don't necessarily allow you to create the similar, kind of repeating design with the echo like this one will. And we do have a Spin and Echo set. I actually will break that out in a minute and show you some of the other designs that you can get with our Spin and Echo set. We actually have those here at the show. So if you're coming to Lakeland, then you can come check those out. We've got them in our booth. And then we'll just keep going. All right, line it up, stitch it down, come down to center, come up, and then we're meeting because this is where we started. And so now I could go ahead and do my next size. Look, it's just kind of like a fun little star design that you can repeat. And so on this one, I could go ahead and just stitch up. So what I think I'm going to do though, because I do have these other spin and echo designs, is I'm going to pull out a new one. I'm going to see what that looks like. I've got some other spin and echo designs there that I'll show off. All right. So let's take a look at some of these other ones. Here we go. So we've got, actually, I was thinking we have like 12 different spin and echo designs. And so this one, if I wanted to do that, I just did my 8-inch. So now I can go ahead and just do more of a circular design with this one. So I'm going to go ahead and set this aside. And then I'm going to just do this little looping design that I think will look super cute. So let's go ahead. And then these are some of the other rulers that come in our Spin and Echo set. This is our Spin and Echo 6, our Spin and Echo 16, which creates kind of this fun little looping design you see there. Our 6 kind of has more of a pointed design. And then this one that I've got on here has kind of more of like, I would call it kind of like a spider web design. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. All right. And so I'll set those aside. And then I'm just going to come in and stop. And again, my goal is to go ahead and stop on my points. And so I'm just going to keep coming and I'm going to stop on my point. And then spin this. And I'm lining it up with center. And I'm just going to keep stopping on my point here. And then I'm going to spin this. And I'm going to come back a little bit. I got a little bit excited. And then I'm going to stop on my point. Stop right there. Is it falling off? We can just put them right there. Thank you. And then I'm going to spin this. And let's see here. All right. We just had someone calling me, so it stopped you guys for a sec, but I think you're back in action here. Okay. So we're going to stop right there. And, you know, one of the, Leonie West, the designer of the Westerly Design Templates, when she introduced these, she made a really good point that ruler work is not a fast sport. You're not, racing. It is a leisure sport. She said leisure in such a great way because she's Australian. So it's a leisure. And the goal is to go ahead and go a little bit slower. You're trying to stop on points. If you're going fast, it's going to be really hard to stop on that point. So if you go a little bit slower, especially as you approach those points, you're going to have more success. So I just did my fun little kind of echoing that way. Isn't that great? And now I can go ahead and add, if I wanted to do a 10-inch echo, I would go ahead and just move this up the line a little bit. And then I would make it so I can get to my next point. So I'm going to go up a little bit higher. And now a little bit more because I know I'm not ready because it's not center. And my center line needs to be centered with my pinwheel shape because that's what I'm using as my center. So I'm going to go a little bit more And now I know I'm center, so I'm ready to go ahead and create my 10-inch echo. So now I'm going to go ahead and just stitch down. And I'm going to come around. And I'm going to come all the way to this point here. And then I'm going to go ahead and spin it. And everything is centered. So I'm going to go ahead and come down. And we're coming to you live from Lakeland, Florida, where we're doing a quilt show this weekend. We've got Kate and Donelle here, our amazing educators, and they're teaching classes on ruler quilting and Westerly design tools and a whole bunch more. And then we're going to spin this and go a little bit higher. I didn't get quite to the point. So also, whenever you're ruler quilting, being able to kind of just do micro adjustments is also really helpful. Being able to do micro adjustments is going to be really necessary, especially when you're trying to get to certain points or positions to move your ruler. Yeah. And it's just adding a stitch here, adding a stitch there.
Donelle makes it look so simple.
She does, doesn't she? Yeah. Yeah, but it's, and I've spent the last 10 years learning from Donelle and some of our other amazing educators. So I always said I can talk the talk really well, but I didn't get as much time to be able to walk it. But it is fun to come to these shows and be able to just spend time doing this and showing people how great everything is. And all right, so we're going to just come up, stop on the point. And now we've got 2 echoes that we just completed. So, and that's our spin and echo number 1. That is part of our spin and echo set. So we could go ahead. If I integrated these others, it's going to go into the previous designs because they dip in so much. But you know what? I mean, it's a practice panel. We might as well see what happens, right? This one probably wouldn't. So I think I'm going to try this one and I'm going to go really big with it. I'm going to go all the way out to the 12-inch and see what we can do. So I'm just going to head out here and I'm just going to kind of, now this is going to be a little bit more tricky. It's going to be more of an eyeball because I don't have the markings to line up my points, but I do still have the center marking. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can make this work. So notice that the very tip of this ruler, if you can see that okay, the very tip of the ruler, I'm now going to have to come around. So this is going to be a little bit of a slow start because I want to make sure I stay on the ruler. And now I'm going to come down and I'm going to come around and I'm going to come into my point. And now I'm going to go ahead and stitch to the top. Same exact way that I just did, where I actually have to go up and line it up with the tip. Now, this is kind of me being lazy because I probably should have used I should have used my crosshair square to mark this fabric out here. But that's okay because I can eyeball it. One thing, if you know me at all, then I'm not the perfectionist quilter, which it's okay. We can all kind of do it our own way. And so now I'm wrapping around. I'm coming. I'm stopping on the tip. And then I'm going to go ahead and come in a little bit to line that up with center. And then I'm coming back, going up to the top and stopping there. And I'm lining everything up with my pinwheel shapes. So this has kind of got a fun little scroll design to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to spin this a little bit so I can see my center line. So I'm actually going to need to stitch a little bit further. And this again is just kind of adding a couple stitches. The other place I can add stitches is when I get a little bit closer in here. Because you're not going to see those stitches as much if you add them on the inside, especially as you're getting close to this point. I can just spin this a little bit to align it. And then that is going to be really hard to see that I added a stitch here, added a stitch there. So I might even move this a little bit just so I can kind of make sure that I'm getting to where I need to be. And then I'm going to stop right there, right at the tip, and I'm lining it with my pin, the top of my pinwheel. And then again, my goal is to go ahead and line that center line up, but I can't be off of my ruler. I need to be against it. So I'm going to start right there. I'm going to come around. I'm going to come down, and then I'm just going to move it slightly to line it up. And now and this is a trick that you might use, especially as you're getting to those those bigger sizes. Like this is going to be more something that you're going to need as you're doing like a 12-inch design. And all right, so as I get a little bit closer out, I'll stop there. And then I'm just spinning the template. Okay, so we have a compatible catalog because this particular option with using a stitch regulator for your baby lock anthem and your baby lock radiance is something that is just brand new. What we've done is we've created an option so you can go ahead and use this ruler foot adapter for this machine.
Yes.
But in doing so, you need to be able to not go underneath the stitch regulator back here. And so what we have is we have a series of designs we call inside designs and outside designs. And this is what we consider an outside design. And we really recommend outside designs with this so you can go ahead and kind of keep that stitch regulator working without having anything go underneath it. But if you have rulers, like you've done ruler quilting before, and you're ready to upgrade and have a solution that works with stitch regulation, then what you would do is you can actually use all of those old rulers with the same foot. You would just remove the stitch regulator option from the back, and then this works just the same. In fact, if it can work a little bit easier because this particular foot, we actually went ahead and made sure when you get started that your needle is center, which is something that we haven't always offered on all of our options. So now I'm going to go ahead and just come in, come up and around, and voila, it touched. So now this is a little bit different design because we use the whole shape. It's got some kind of wiggly things going on it. If I had come in, let's actually do this design and we'll try it on the inside because this could look quite a bit different as we do on the inside of this. So I'm going to cut this thread and I'm going to try this with a 4-inch and see what it looks like. So how we do the 4-inch is we're again, same exact idea. We're dropping the needle, but we're starting a lot closer in. Notice that because we're just stitching from one line past this line and to the next line. So I'm going to go ahead and start that. So I'm going to stop there. And then I'm going to go ahead and stitch up. And I can't really see the line really clearly because it's in gray, but it's right there. So now I'm going to go ahead and spin that so it's center. And I'm just doing a 4-inch design right now. So this is just kind of filling in the middle. No, now you can see this one really well because I'm hitting it on the blue.
Right.
And then I'm going to spin that and I'm lining that up. And I'm going to stop on the blue. And then I'm going to spin this. And I'm going to line this up. And I'm going to stop on the blue. Actually, I'm going to stop on the gray again. Stop right there. And then we're creating a 4-inch design. But in the past, we have like the artisan templates that will give you a lot of different sizes with one design. This is similar where you get a lot of different sizes, but the artisan are all what we call inside shapes. So you're stitching on the inside of each of those. But isn't that cute?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're
We
welcome.
gotta get closer.
All right, so now I'm gonna try.
And do you have these here? This set?
We do. This is the set that I just took this off the shelf there. So this is available in, what machine do you have?
I have a Bernina, but I use a low shake because I have high and low shake machines, so I just use the low shake.
Oh, you do? Perfect. So we do have that right here for a low shank.
Yeah.
And what's great about the Bernina is if you have their foot, you can get that foot low enough
Yeah.
that it works for all thicknesses. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And so now I'm going to go ahead and try one more template. Oh, please do. So I just was showing off a variety of these spin and echo templates that we have for sale here. And so I started with the 6-inch. So I wanted to fill in. So I'll use this design again and I'll do the 5-inch. It's kind of fun to see the way that you can do different echoing.
This is Stacy.
Hi
So
there. And I'm showing off how we're using the new stitch regulator on this anthem.
well, she was in class, so she needed some.
Okay. Oh, good. Yeah. Well, these are some of the rulers. Yeah, this is our beginner set that Donelle spoke of. It does come with the foot. Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so our 5-inch design is right here. And so I will go ahead and start. And what I'm going to do on the 5-inch design is I do need to stitch up a little bit because we want to go ahead and spin our template. It's called a spin and echo for a reason. We're spinning our template to start with our next design. So I just spun it to that point, and now I'm going to go ahead and stitch down to this point in my pinwheel, and then I'm going to stitch up to the next point in my pinwheel. And you can kind of see that on the camera there, but I'm going to go ahead and stitch down, and then I'm going to stitch up, and I'm going to stop right there. So I am currently using the new options that are available in the Baby Lock Anthem and the Baby Lock Radiance machines, which allow you to do stitch regulation. But you can do ruler work on any machine. And the class you took today with Donelle, where she teaches you some of the basic designs in their sampler set. And that's the set that she would have recommended you start with. It comes with the ruler foot. It comes with the crosshair square, with the spacing gauge. That's how we recommend you get started. And so I'm going to come down. And then I'm going to come back up, and I'm just stopping on that pinwheel design. So I'm not using the whole shape. I'm using the markings on the fabric to decide where I want to stitch to and decide where I want to start. Now, if I did not have the stitch regulator option built into my machine, then I am the stitch regulator. So in order to be the stitch regulator, I'm going to set my speed setting on my machine to a slower speed because you're going to want to go slower initially. And then I'm going to go ahead and with that, I'm going to just try to regulate my speed of my hands to create that. So I just completed my 5-inch design there. So now I have a 4 and a 5 that are different shapes. And then I go out and there's actually 3 different templates used here. I use the Spin and Echo number 6. I use the Spin and Echo number 1. And then I use the Spin and Echo number 10 that actually comes with my starter kit. So those are all of the templates that I use to create that. Kind of cool. Yeah. So now I'm going to go ahead and use the wave line and circle ruler. That also comes with this particular kit. Actually, no, I'm going to show you something I absolutely love. This is our 4-inch arc ruler. This comes with our starter set. So that's the set that you would be getting.
When I'm not here anymore, where can I get these so steady? I got to get them online.
So steady, yeah. Now, that is definitely where you're going to find our tools is online. They do have them in some stores, but yeah, if you go to
Online than they are here.
no, they're going to be on sale here. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for watching. So now I'm going to use this because this comes with the kit to be able to mark my 45 angles. So I start by finding the center of my diamond here or of my triangle. And then I'm going to mark this, and I've got a Choco marker here. So I'm going to use my Choco marker.
But I have to switch the insides out.
Oh, yeah. She does recommend Pounce. chalk because it'll stay and it won't go away until you iron it off. So now I found my center and I use that to just find center. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark my 45 super easy. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. So this would be my 30, these two top lines at the top of this ruler. You can see the markings on this ruler here. There's 30s, but there's also 45s. So I'm going to use this to find my 45s. And I'm going to mark that right here. And I'm going to mark that right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a really cute little flower design using just these 3 points. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my needle down in the center of my block here. And we're going to put needle down. And then notice that there is a straight line that is on this ruler. This straight line goes across the ruler right here. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the straight line on the edge of my design there. And I'm going to go ahead and just create my first flower shape with that straight line.
This is gonna confuse me because I know what I want in my head. And I know I learned how to use some of these too.
Well, this is the 4-inch arc. So this is part of your template set that you would be buying. So I'm going to come back down and I'm just going to stitch to the center again. And I'm going to stop right there in the middle. And now I'm going to go ahead and create my next design. So my next design I want to go ahead and use is I'm going to go ahead and stitch up to the marked line that I just created. And I'm creating a flower design here. So I'm going to stitch up to that point, and then I'm going to flip the ruler and I'm going to stitch back down to it. And this is where I use my spacing gauge, if I can find it. I've lost my spacing gauge. I know it's around here somewhere.
What is it?
Oh, no, it's okay.
And where do you
I'll
get
find
these
it.
red coupons?
Yeah. We're doing giveaways. The next one starts at 2 p.m. That we can give you. And then I will also give you another little flyer. And then did Donelle give you anything in the class?
She did.
Good. So I'll give you a ruler work guide to go with it. So this is my 1/4-inch marking. That's what I'm going to use because I want to stop in the center again. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch down. And so our ruler work guide is the next thing that I want to give you. And so I'm going to go ahead and stitch down. And
I'm remembering this. I
Yeah.
have to see and then I do.
no worries, I understand. So I'm just going to stitch down to this point. And here we go. So one of the things that's happening right now is that my fabric was bunched up. And so you really need to make sure that you've got enough fabric underneath your stitch regulator to read your movement. If the fabric isn't underneath there and you have a stitch regulator, it has to read your movement. Without it, you're not going to be able to do that stitch regulation.
I have to, this is why I can't get any more information.
Oh, yeah.
I have to email her about a specific thing for my machine. That's why I just have to
Yeah,
get.
no, you're good. And that's what you're going to want. And then what was your machine again?
It's a topaz.
A Viking topaz. You're going to want a low shank set. And so let me go ahead and grab that. I'll be right back, everybody.
So it's out. Being found. If we bought a package, this big. Oh, I remember you did it. And then that'll work for me then. I was mine broke my needle. You gotta have the low shank or the high shank. Comes in different flavors. So one is all that.
And then here's our low shank sets. So that's going to be the low shank that's on sale for $98.
Yeah.
And this is our long arm. And this is our high. Here we go.
I think I should things that you like individually instead of.
You didn't go see what these are individuals. These are all 50% off, and they're just a nice little mix of rulers you can check out. They are all, the middle one is high shank. The green, yeah, the middle one right there is high shake. Okay, so I'm back, everyone. Thank you for your patience. So we're going to go ahead and keep creating our little design here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just move this a little bit so I can see it okay. And then I'm going to stitch back up to the center again, just like I did before. Stop right there. Okay. And then the center. All right. And then we go ahead and keep moving. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and stitch back down. And I'm using my spacing gauge again right here to make sure I line up center. So I'm going to stitch back down.
How much is this? And do you have them without the lanyard?
We do offer, what are you looking for? Spacing gauges?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so it's right next to it. There are different colors
Okay.
of spacing gauges without the lanyard. That one is $20.
Okay.
Yeah, with the kit.
At Houston this year, right?
You did. Anne was at Houston though, and she was with All Brands.
Oh.
So Anne was, yes.
Before.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not mistaken, there was someone with a birthday.
Oh, you found me. Yeah, thank you.
I had a chance to go through all of them through the box. I'm having so much fun.
I love that.
It's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. So this is our So Steady suspension system, and I'm using it to hold my phone because we're live right now.
I'm like, put my hands on it.
Oh, you're good.
You'll have.
So that helps hold up your project. So when you're doing bigger projects, it helps keep the drag. This is the holders. This is, yeah, the suspension system. Yeah, absolutely.
It's easier to position though. Better.
Yeah. So if you're doing bigger projects, it's really ideal for that. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep moving my template. We're going to come down, stop on the line, and then I'm going to move this and we're going to go back to the stitch line. So I'm going to go ahead and same thing. Come back down. And then we'll do one more. And we're just going to go ahead and do that line up like we did before. So I'm going to use this ruler and we're going to go ahead and use that straight line to get to the point that we want to get to. So I'm just going to turn this slightly. And then we use the straight line that's on the inside there to get that same size. So I'm going to go ahead and come down. Straight lines lined up. And come on down. And voila. And now we've got our flower. And look at that. We've got a gorgeous flower there, everyone. All right, so now I'm going to use my wave line and circle ruler. And that is another brand new ruler that we included with this set. So let's see if I can find it. It's getting messy around here. Okay, let's see. We've got.
I own some rulers, so my friend doesn't. And it's
Oh, good. Well, I can take
how
you.
they work.
Yeah, I can take you from the top. That's one of our circle sewing samples. So that uses our circles and straights tools. So that's a little different, but definitely a really cool thing to be able to do. And I will say the ruler quilting is on the inside. So this is what we call our fill designs, and that's something that we offer. Donelle McAdams, one of our educators, created a fill set. So all of the background fills is what you see. So all these circles with lines, those are actual ruler quilting. Yeah. And then the designs that you see right there, with the different stitches, that's using decorative stitches and then using our circles and straights tool to create those.
I have one.
Yeah, so that's our Sew Steady suspension
This is
system. That's what this is. So you can get this arm nice and big. It can clamp up to 3 inches in height. And so you're going to go ahead and just
on mine.
reach that up. We like to say to keep a little bit of a curve in it to help hold up those bigger projects. And then you can clamp that to a So Steady table. You can clamp that onto a cabinet, a thicker cabinet, or even a kitchen counter. That's how I got started.
Where does it go?
So what happens is you use this clip right here to go ahead and snap onto the ball. And then I've got a project right behind me here that I will actually show you how great it works, because it will help hold up that project. So now I'm going to go ahead and clip it. On the around the corner, they might have thread. I haven't, yeah, because this whole thing is the sewing studio booth. Yeah.
Because I gotta go there too.
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and clamp it up here, and I'll put that right back here. So I'm just doing a quick demo on our, yeah. So King Quilt, you're going to actually move this away. So you would put this on the outside of whatever table surface this is on, your machine is on, and then you would go ahead and give yourself some space so your quilt can go ahead and get spread out.
Okay.
And then but you're going to want more arms. King Quilt, you're going to need probably 6 arms.
What's
To
the
hold
price
up.
difference? I can't do all of this in one day.
Yeah.
What's the price difference if I do it online later to get more than one of these? 'Cause
I mean, these are going to be on sale, 20% off here.
and they're $79.99 or $59.
Well, they're on sale for 49 right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we offer discounts at all the shows, so you're going to get extra discounts on all of it. And then
Extra when I put it all together, you mean?
well, yeah, that's you're going to get that 20%. Yeah.
So this is 49, so again.
Yeah.
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 So I need two.
Yes. So those are those special tables. Yeah.
So I would recommend. So now if you wanted to see how this works, we're gonna go ahead and I would put a bigger project in here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of get this out of the way. I can start with this one, just so it doesn't take over everything. But I'm gonna
Appreciate this.
yeah. So I'm just gonna go ahead and slide this under the needle area. And then I'm gonna go ahead and clip this right up here. And so
Keep it out of the.
that's keeping it up and out of the way. So if you have a bigger project, it's helping hold up that bigger project and keep that out of the way. And so this is great for doing the quilting. Sorry, I'm moving it really quick there and it's covering things up. But it's great for doing all kinds of quilting and really binding. Like a lot of our educators will use it to help with binding. So I'm going to pull this down and then I will show you with the bigger project too. So if I were to slide this under the needle area, and then I pull this up and over. So I've got my bigger project here.
I need one of those.
That's in your kit. That's in the starter kit we gave you. And then we're gonna go ahead and hold that up right here now. So now you've got that spread out. This is holding it up. Sorry, I'm moving around the camera a lot. Okay. And then you're able to go ahead and have that hold up your project. And you've got all kinds of space now built into this that you can go ahead and work with. So, oh, I wondered. Okay. So that's what the arms are for.
He's got it covered up
Yeah.
here. Okay. And I'll show you.
Yeah.
in a second.
So kind of a great solution.
She's got there.
Okay. So I'll take that off. And Donelle's back.
With one, I need two.
You'd need 2 for sure. Yeah. Hands down. Yeah, absolutely. More than 2
It's a game changer.
arms.
You love it. Stacy, they're interested in the table.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about our So Steady tables. And so we offer a bunch of different options with our So Steady tables. Our wish table is the table that all the quilters wish they would have gotten. And that's the table that we've got right here. This table was developed by quilters for quilters. We did a little focus group and we said, what would you like to see in your So Steady table? And the first things that they said is they wanted a bigger sewing surface. As a quilter, you want something to hold up your projects. So this is a 22 and a half by 25 inch size table. Next, they said we want a drawer. We want a big blue drawer or any drawer, but a drawer that has compartments. So this table has the compartments built into it. So you can go ahead and have all your goodies stored in it. Mine at home is ridiculous, but I've got all my needles, my feet, my bobbins, my pins, everything accessible, ready to be able to use. The next thing that they wanted is we've always had a beveled front edge on our tables, and all of our tables have the beveled front edge. They also have this 16-inch metric ruler, but this table also has beveled edges on all three sides. So when you come up and off from any angle, it's going to eliminate the drag. So this table also has that. In addition to that, we have offered circle sewing solution into our tables. In the past, we did a holes in the tables and we had a little system that tool that dropped into those holes, but it was somewhat limiting because you could only create the circle that would drop into the holes. This is our circle sewing tool that you can create any size circle. You can do a 12.5-inch circle. You can do a 29-inch circle. It's all based on the mat. So you actually stick this little tool onto your mat, and then you're able to go ahead and create circles. Donelle has a whole bunch of circle projects right there. And you can create circles using this tool. So that was what we were looking at earlier with the circles and straights. So you just put And so that is a really, really great solution for being able to do circle sewing. So circles and straights tool and mat, the straight part of this is that this mat has 1/4-inch seam allowances. It's got 1/4-inch seam allowances right at the needle area. So you've got your 1/4-inch, your 3/8, and your 5/8. So then you can go ahead and lay that down. And I use it more for my straight sewing than I do anything else. But then I have a guide to guide my fabric through and consistently create the 1/4-inch seam allowance. So this table is $279 on sale regularly with the bag and the light stick that comes with it. This light stick turns your table into a light box as well. So you can go ahead and do any of that work right there if you're like paper piecing or anything like that. For $279 this weekend. Regularly, that's a $350 package. Now, if you wanted the table by itself, you can get that for just $249. So with the $279, you're getting this gigantic bag that's going to go ahead and help hold this up. And then you're getting all these pockets in the bag to hold other things with your table. And then you're getting the light with it. So great deal on that. We also offer a table that's a little bit smaller, a large table for $149.
So that you have them here to go?
We do not. We actually have to.
To go home to Canada on Tuesday.
Oh, okay. What machine do you have?
Well, I've got a few of them.
Okay.
I also have a long arm tool, so.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Robotics, so I don't do.
You do other options. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm trying to explain to my friend that I'm getting, we're spending all kinds of money.
Yeah.
Learning how to do stuff.
Okay.
And I've tried to explain the rulers. 'Cause
Yeah.
I have a bunch of rulers.
Yes.
So if you can show her how they work.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I can have Donelle sit down too. She's my expert ruler quilter here. She's teaching classes all weekend.
Yeah. Sat in on that one because I saw it on the list. I thought, oh, you.
Oh, good. Yeah. So this is considered our Sew Steady wave, line, and circle, and this comes with this particular machine to be able to use ruler quilting. And do you want to sit down and do some demoing? Yeah. Let me get out of your way. All right.
So if you can show her how this works, and also one where your foot goes inside, where you lead one to the other. I have a couple westerly rollers and that I can loan her unless she finds something she really wants today. But it's the concept that it's hard to explain.
Okay. See, I just like this. I'm gonna use just a plain piece of fabric, if that's okay, Stacy.
Yeah, that's right. I don't need to serve for that works out. And let me get this over here. Your crosshair squares right here.
Because yes, I have free motion and yes, I use rulers, and then I decided I want the robotics. So I don't use
But I wanted to put it back, but I can't see where it was.
Do you want that art ruler?
It'll make more sense Once you see it.
So she has, there we are. Here we are.
Rulers right here. You've been in two.
That's okay. Just get where you can see. That's all that really matters. And I want to tell you, this has a stitch regulator on it.
Yep.
I do not have a stitch regulator on my machine at home. So if you see a little bit of a bobble, it's me because I'm not quite used to the stitch regulator. So what I'm going to do first,
Right?
yep,
So all it does is it keeps the same length no matter how skinny you go. You know when you
okay, yeah, yeah,
get long,
yeah.
it's regular, keeps it the same size. At least that's how I always understood it. I had an old quilting machine and I bought a stitch regulator for it.
We do all slots now. We used to do, but he's talking hats. So we had so many long armors prefer the key still. So we do slots. We only do key gates for long arm. You just have to ask us.
I didn't know something.
But I just you'll be able to see that there too.
And it was like, yeah, I just said so good. I mean, it's like you can still need it.
Some of my rules have to.
Are you looking for something?
The
The key out.
spiral, 6-inch spiral.
I thought it was right under.
I thought it was too.
Oh, did I put it away? It would be back in there if I did.
I don't know. Have you done your giveaway?
I have not. We got to do a giveaway. Well, I'll
Okay.
start handing out tickets.
All right.
So what is this?
That is one of our stars. That's our Starry Night series. Yeah. That's
Oh, shoot.
There's none on this side that I can see, although they're clear spots. Oh, there's one underneath right here. I don't know if that's what you're looking for.
It is. Thank you.
So this one.
I didn't get back far enough to see it.
I already had it. Oh, you do? Also, I got another super bus.
I don't know that I have those stars independent. Here.
Well, he's gonna show you. That's where that key comes in.
Thank you.
This one,
It allows you to slide it.
Yeah.
This one.
the best, no key. No more keys. No more keys.
So what I'm going to do on this is I'm going to start right here in the center. So I'm putting my foot down
You know what?
and my needle down. And I'm going to use this template. It doesn't have stable tape on it, but normally I would have spots of stable tape. And I am going to, I don't know if you can see it, but there is a red line that they have, the laser line that's there.
Bring it on the TV.
Okay, well, I got so much stuff around here, I can't see what I'm doing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to angle it so y'all can see, and I'm going to stitch up till I would touch that line. Now, the line's there, it ends, but that's where it would be.
The phone is not, the camera's not.
Oh, so this is the camera that we're using.
Okay.
So she was just covering it up a little bit.
Okay.
And then I'm taking a spacing gauge,
And I'm gonna hand that to you.
because from the needle to the edge of the foot is 1/4 of an inch. So therefore, when I put this around here and I want to get right back to that spot, I need to measure so that I will leave enough space for the foot and the needle will land right in that spot. So as I said, my stitch regulator, I'm still getting used to. See how I took a great big stitch because I moved when I wasn't stepping on my foot control.
Over here, you guys even want to let them know.
Now I see the baby.
And I'm going to line this up again.
Camera's off now.
You're not cooperating with me, are they? I don't know. Okay. So if I want to embellish these, what I'm going to do is instead of use the 1/4 inch, I'm going to take this and measure over from this point a 1/2 inch. Because if I just measured the 1/4 inch, it would be back on the same line. So I'm going to embellish that just a little bit. I'm coming back, I'm moving over, I'm going to put my 1/2 inch there. My 1/2 inch there. So just that slick, I have kind of fussied up my design.
Like slides harder, I would have saved 10 minutes. Because I'm not artistic and I just couldn't use my imagination.
Yeah.
We'll come over here, measure back that 1/2 inch.
I'm actually loving
Oh, my goodness.
Stop yet.
Oh, yeah. I used to have on the car, so it wasn't a big deal. Yeah. No,
There's something sticking down there?
I think maybe the bobbin's misbehaving. All right, everyone. So thank you so much for joining us for our live demo today. We appreciate you coming by, and sorry that we got messed up there for a little bit with the camera, but we're going to sign off now. We're going to keep demoing and doing some fun things here in Lakeland. So if you're in the area, come by and see us. Have a wonderful day.
Spring is here, and so are a ton of So Steady projects.